They lied to you. Society lied to you. Everyone who ever told you that some people are just born smart and others aren't, they lied. And the worst part? You believed them. You accepted it. You looked at the person who got straight A's without studying and thought, I'm just not wired like that. You watched someone solve problems faster than you and decided your brain had a limit. You told yourself intelligence was genetic, fixed, out of your control. That belief just killed your potential before it ever had a chance to grow. Intelligence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build deliberately, ruthlessly. The same way Machiavelli understood that power isn't inherited, it's seized. The people at the top don't want you to know this, because the moment you realize your mind can be sharpened like a blade, you become dangerous. You stop being predictable. You stop following orders without question. You start seeing through the game. And that terrifies them. So they built a system around you, a system designed to keep you comfortable, distracted, and average. They taught you that intelligence is measured by test scores and degrees. They rewarded you for memorizing, not thinking. They made you believe that staying in line was the same as being smart. It's not. Real intelligence is clarity. It's the ability to see what others miss, to read people before they speak, to move through the world with precision while everyone else stumbles in confusion. And that kind of intelligence, you can develop it starting right now. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose clarity, because once you choose it, everything changes. Number 1. Reject the lie that intelligence is fixed. Let's destroy the first lie right now. You've been told your whole life that intelligence is genetic, that your IQ is set at birth, that smart people are just born that way, and the rest of us have to work with what we've got. It's garbage. This belief exists for one reason: control. If you think your intelligence is fixed, you stop trying to expand it. You accept your place. You don't ask dangerous questions. You don't challenge systems. You stay manageable. That's exactly what they want. But here's the truth. Every genius you've ever heard of built their mind deliberately. Einstein didn't pop out of the womb understanding relativity. Da Vinci didn't inherit the ability to paint the Mona Lisa. They constructed their intelligence piece by piece through obsession, through questioning, through refusing to accept the limits other people tried to place on them. Your brain isn't a locked box with a set amount of intelligence inside. It's a system, and systems can be upgraded. Think of your mind like an operating system on a computer. Right now, you're probably running on default settings, the settings that culture installed, the settings that institutions reinforced, the settings society wants you to keep because they make you easy to predict and control. But you can rewrite the code. When you believe intelligence is fixed, you become mentally passive. You consume information, but you don't process it. You memorize, but you don't understand. You follow, but you don't lead. Passive minds are weak minds. Active minds, minds that question, that tear ideas apart and rebuild them, that refuse to accept anything at face value, those are the minds that reshape reality. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that power doesn't respect inheritance, it respects capability. The prince who thinks his bloodline will protect him loses his throne to the strategist who built his mind into a weapon. Your intelligence works the same way. The moment you accept that your current level of intelligence is just a starting point, not a destination, everything shifts. You stop making excuses. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop waiting for some magical breakthrough that will suddenly make you smart. Instead, you get to work. You start consuming information differently, not passively absorbing whatever gets fed to you, but actively hunting for knowledge that expands your thinking. You start questioning your own conclusions. You start testing your beliefs against reality instead of defending them out of ego. This is uncomfortable. Your brain will resist. It wants to stay in familiar territory. It wants to believe you've already figured things out. But comfort is the enemy of growth. Every time you push past that discomfort, every time you force your brain to grapple with something it doesn't immediately understand, you're building new neural pathways. You're literally upgrading your mental hardware. The fixed mindset says, I'm not good at this. The growth mindset says, I'm not good at this yet. That one word changes everything. Because when you add yet, you're acknowledging that intelligence is a process, a skill, something that improves with deliberate practice. And once you accept that, You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop blaming genetics or luck or opportunity. You take full responsibility for the quality of your thinking. That's when transformation begins. So reject the lie right now. Decide that your mind is not finished. Decide that genius isn't a gift. It's a process. And you're going to master that process no matter how long it takes or how uncomfortable it gets. Because the alternative, accepting that you've peaked, that this is as smart as you'll ever be, that's not just wrong, it's a waste. Number 2, break the system designed to keep you average. Now, let's talk about the system that programmed you to think small. The education system didn't teach you how to think, it taught you how to obey. Sit down, be quiet, memorize this. Repeat it back on the test. Don't question the curriculum. Don't challenge the textbook. Just absorb what we give you and move on to the next grade. That's not education, that's training. They trained you the same way you train a dog. Good behavior gets rewarded. Independent thinking gets punished. You learned that the fastest way to succeed in school was to figure out what the authority wanted and give it to them, not to actually understand the material. And it worked. You graduated. You got your grades. You followed the path. But here's what they didn't tell you. The system was never designed to create thinkers. It was designed to create workers, people who show up on time, follow instructions, and don't ask too many questions. Because thinkers are dangerous. Thinkers see patterns. They notice inconsistencies. They ask why things are the way they are and whether they need to stay that way. They don't accept authority just because someone has a title, and systems hate that. Machiavelli knew this 500 years ago. He wrote about it. Power structures need predictability. They need people who follow the rules, who believe in the system, who stay in their lane. The moment you start thinking deeply, really thinking, not just repeating smart-sounding phrases you heard somewhere, you become unpredictable. You stop fitting into the boxes they built for you. That's when you become powerful. Intelligence isn't about having a degree or a high IQ score. Those things measure compliance, not capability. Real intelligence is the ability to see through the game, to understand why people do what they do, to recognize when you're being manipulated and choose a different move. The education system gave you information, but it didn't give you understanding. It didn't teach you how to think strategically. It didn't show you how to read people, how to spot lies, how to protect yourself from being used. That's the intelligence that matters, and you're not going to get it by following the same path everyone else follows. You get it by stepping off the path completely and building your own. Look around you. Most people are living on autopilot. They wake up, go to work, consume entertainment, go to sleep, repeat. They're not making conscious choices. They're following scripts they inherited. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, get married, have kids, retire, die. Is that the only way? Or is it just the path of least resistance? The system wants you to believe it's the only way because if you question the path, you might question everything else. You might realize that most of what you were taught was designed to keep you compliant, not to make you free. That realization is the beginning of real intelligence. Breaking free from the system doesn't mean dropping out of society. It means thinking for yourself within it. It means questioning the assumptions everyone else accepts. It means building your own definition of success instead of chasing someone else's. Because here's the truth, the system rewards mediocrity. It rewards people who fit in, who don't make waves, who color inside the lines. But mediocrity is a death sentence for your potential. If you want to develop real intelligence, the kind that gives you power and clarity, you have to be willing to break away from the herd. You have to be willing to think thoughts that make you unpopular. You have to be willing to pursue understanding even when it's inconvenient. That's what separates average minds from exceptional ones. Average minds follow. Exceptional minds lead themselves. So break the system, not violently but intellectually. Stop letting it define what intelligence means. Stop letting it measure your worth. Stop letting it dictate your path. Build your own operating system, one that serves your growth, not their control. Number 3, question everything without fear. Here's where it starts to get uncomfortable. If you want to build genius-level intelligence, you have to question everything. And I mean everything. Your beliefs, your assumptions, the things you were taught growing up, the values society says you should have, the goals you think you're supposed to chase, the ideas you've defended for years. All of it goes on trial. Most people never do this. They inherit their worldview from their environment and spend their entire lives defending it without ever examining whether it's actually true. That's not intelligence, that's programming. Real intelligence begins when you stop accepting ideas just because they're comfortable or familiar. When you start asking, is this actually true, or did I just hear it enough times that I started believing it? Machiavelli questioned everything. He looked at how princes actually gained and kept power, not how philosophers said they should behave. He ignored the fairy tales and studied reality. And that made him one of the most clear-thinking minds in history. You need to do the same thing. Question authority, not with disrespect but with genuine curiosity. When someone tells you something is true, ask them how they know. Ask them what evidence supports it. Ask them what would have to be true for it to be false. Most people can't answer those questions because they never asked them in the first place. Question the experts. Just because someone has credentials doesn't mean they're right. Experts are wrong all the time. They have biases, they have incentives, they have blind spots. Your job isn't to blindly trust them. Your job is to evaluate their reasoning. Question societal norms. Why do people chase the same goals? Why do they define success the same way? Why do they follow the same timeline? School, job, marriage, kids, retirement, death. Is that the only way to live? Or is it just the path everyone takes because it's comfortable and familiar? Here's what happens when you start questioning everything. You stop being easy to control. You stop accepting surface-level explanations. You start seeing the machinery underneath, the incentives, the power dynamics, the hidden motives. That's when you stop being average. Intelligence isn't about knowing a lot of facts, it's about having clarity. It's about seeing through noise and confusion to what's actually happening. And the only way to develop that clarity is to question relentlessly, even when it makes people uncomfortable. Especially when it makes people uncomfortable. Now here's the key. Questioning doesn't mean cynicism. It doesn't mean rejecting everything just to be contrarian. It means being intellectually honest. It means being willing to change your mind when the evidence changes. It means holding your beliefs loosely enough that you can examine them without feeling threatened. Weak minds defend their beliefs at all costs. Strong minds test them constantly. Ask yourself, what do I believe that might be wrong? What assumptions am I making that I haven't verified? What would I need to see to change my position? If you can't answer those questions, you don't have beliefs, you have dogma. And dogma is the enemy of intelligence. Machiavelli wasn't loved for his ideas. He was attacked, called immoral, and condemned because he questioned the fundamental assumptions about power and virtue that everyone else accepted. But he was right, and history proved it. That's the price of real thinking. You won't always be popular. You won't always be understood. People will accuse you of being negative, cynical, or difficult. Let them, because the alternative is living in comfortable delusion. And if you've come this far, you're not built for that. So question everything, test every idea, challenge every assumption, verify every claim, not to be difficult, not to show off, but because clarity demands it. And clarity is the foundation of real intelligence. Number 4, grow through impossible questions and contradictions. Now we go deeper. If you want to force your brain to grow, you need to ask questions it can't answer easily. Most people avoid this. They stick to comfortable questions with clear answers. They read things that confirm what they already believe. They surround themselves with people who think like they do. That's mental stagnation. Your brain grows when it struggles, when it hits resistance, when it tries to hold two opposing ideas at the same time and figure out how both could be true. Ask yourself impossible questions, questions that don't have simple answers, questions that make you uncomfortable. What if everything you believe about morality is cultural programming? What if the things you think are objectively true are just widely accepted opinions? What if the people you trust have incentives you don't understand? What if your entire worldview is built on foundations you never examined? These questions hurt. They're supposed to. Because when you ask an impossible question, Your brain can't just retrieve an answer from memory. It has to build new connections. It has to synthesize information in ways it never has before. That's how intelligence grows. Now take it further. Study contradictory viewpoints on purpose. Find someone who believes the exact opposite of what you believe and actually try to understand their reasoning. Don't strawman them. Don't dismiss them. Genuinely try to see the world through their eyes. This is painful. Your brain will resist. It wants consistency. It wants to protect your existing beliefs. But here's what happens when you force yourself to hold opposing ideas. You develop flexibility. You stop seeing the world in binary terms, right or wrong, good or bad, smart or stupid. You start seeing nuance, complexity, the gray areas where most of reality actually exists. Machiavelli did this. He studied republics and principalities. He analyzed both virtue and vice. He didn't pick a side and defend it. He looked at what actually worked in different contexts. That's strategic thinking. When you can hold contradictions in your mind without collapsing into confusion, you develop pattern recognition. You start seeing how different forces interact, how the same action can have opposite results depending on context, how truth is often situational, not absolute. This is the intelligence that gives you leverage in the real world. Because while everyone else is locked into rigid thinking, you're fluid. You adapt. You see options they don't see. You make moves they can't predict. That's power. Let me give you a practical example. Take two opposing political ideologies. Most people pick one and spend their lives defending it while attacking the other. But what if you studied both? What if you genuinely tried to understand the logic, the values, the fears behind each perspective? You'd start seeing that both sides have some truth. Both sides have some blindness. Both sides are responding to real problems with incomplete solutions. And suddenly, you're operating at a level above the argument. You're not trapped in the binary. You're seeing the whole board. That's what contradictions do. They force you to climb higher, to see from a broader perspective, to think in layers instead of lines. Now here's the advanced move. Synthesize. After you've studied opposing views, after you've held contradictions, after you've asked impossible questions, bring it all together. Find the pattern that makes sense of the contradiction. Find the framework that explains why different approaches work in different contexts. Find the principle underneath the chaos. That's synthesis. And synthesis is the highest form of intelligence. It's not just knowing things, it's seeing how things connect. It's building mental models that explain reality better than any single ideology or system. Machiavelli did this with power. He synthesized observations from history, psychology, and strategy into a framework that still holds true 500 years later. You can do the same thing with anything you study, but only if you're willing to sit with the discomfort of contradictions long enough to see through them. Most people quit when thinking gets hard. They retreat to comfortable certainty. Don't be most people. Stay in the discomfort. Ask the impossible questions. Study the contradictions. Build the synthesis. That's how you evolve beyond average intelligence into something exceptional. Number 5. Consolidate attention and destroy fragmentation. Here's the enemy you didn't know you had. Distraction. Your attention is under attack every second of every day. Your phone buzzes, notifications pop up. Apps are designed to fragment your focus into smaller and smaller pieces until you can't hold a single thought for more than 30 seconds. And this is killing your intelligence. Deep thinking requires sustained attention. You can't build complex ideas when your mind is constantly jumping from one thing to another. You can't see patterns when you're looking at everything and focusing on nothing. Fragmented attention creates a fragmented mind. Think about how you consume information. You scroll, you skim, you watch 15-second videos, you read headlines but not articles. You expose yourself to thousands of ideas but absorb none of them. That's not intelligence, that's mental noise. Genius requires silence. It requires the ability to sit with one idea long enough to actually understand it, to turn it over in your mind, to see it from different angles, to connect it to other ideas. You can't do that when your attention is scattered. Machiavelli didn't have notifications. He had silence. He had long stretches of uninterrupted time to think deeply about power, strategy, and human nature. That's how he saw what others missed. You need to reclaim that. Start small. Put your phone in another room for 1 hour. Sit with a single idea and nothing else. No music, no background noise. Just you and the thought. Your brain will panic. It's been trained to need constant stimulation. It will tell you you're bored. It will tell you to check your phone. It will invent emergencies that don't exist. Ignore it, because on the other side of that discomfort is clarity. Sustained focus is a form of power. When you can direct your full attention to one thing for an extended period, you see things others can't see. You make connections others can't make. You understand at a level that scattered minds will never reach. This is the difference between surface-level knowledge and deep intelligence. Surface knowledge is memorizing facts. Deep intelligence is seeing how those facts relate to each other, what they imply, what they predict. And you only get there through consolidated attention. Treat your focus like a resource. Protect it. Guard it. Don't give it away to every notification, every distraction, every person who wants a piece of your mental energy. Your attention is your intelligence. Waste one, waste both. Here's what most people don't realize. Every time you break your focus, it takes your brain an average of 23 minutes to return to the same level of concentration. 23 minutes. So if you check your phone every 10 minutes, you never actually reach deep focus. You're operating at surface level all day, every day. No wonder you're not thinking clearly. You're not giving your brain the conditions it needs to think. Deep work, the kind of sustained, focused thinking that produces insights, requires blocks of uninterrupted time, 2 hours minimum, ideally more. During that time, nothing else exists. No social media, no messages, no interruptions. Just you and the problem you're working on. This is how breakthroughs happen. Not in the moments between distractions, but in the depths of sustained concentration. Einstein spent hours sitting in silence, thinking through problems. Da Vinci would stare at his paintings for days, just observing. Machiavelli wrote The Prince during a period of forced isolation. Genius isn't loud, it's quiet, focused, undistracted. Now compare that to how most people operate. They're constantly stimulated, constantly reacting, constantly divided between 10 different things. They mistake motion for progress, activity for productivity. But real intelligence isn't busy, it's deliberate. So here's your challenge. Reclaim your attention. Build the capacity for sustained focus. Train your brain to sit with difficult ideas without needing constant stimulation. It won't be easy. Your brain is literally addicted to distraction. Every notification triggers a dopamine hit. Every new piece of information activates your curiosity. But those hits come at a cost. They're stealing your ability to think deeply. And without deep thinking, intelligence plateaus. Consolidate your attention. Destroy fragmentation. Build the capacity for sustained focus. That's not optional. That's essential. Because in a world where everyone is distracted, the person who can focus has an unfair advantage. Number 6. Weaponize knowledge through human insight. Knowledge by itself is useless. You can memorize entire libraries and still be powerless. Intelligence isn't about what you know. It's about what you can do with what you know. And the most valuable thing you can do with knowledge is understand people. Not facts, not theories, people. Because every obstacle you face, every opportunity you encounter, every move you make in life, it all involves people. Understanding human nature is the foundation of real-world intelligence. Machiavelli understood this better than almost anyone. He didn't just study politics in the abstract. He studied people, what motivates them, what they fear, how they behave under pressure, what makes them loyal or treacherous. That's the intelligence that matters. Start observing, not casually, deliberately. Watch how people talk, what they emphasize, what they avoid, what makes them uncomfortable, how they react when they think no one's paying attention. Listen to what they don't say, the gaps in their stories, the subjects they change, the questions they deflect. Everyone reveals themselves constantly. Most people just aren't watching. Ask yourself, what does this person want? What are they afraid of? What would they do if they thought they could get away with it? These aren't cynical questions. they're strategic ones. When you understand what drives someone, their fears, their desires, their insecurities, you understand how they'll behave. You can predict their moves, you can position yourself accordingly. This is how intelligence becomes leverage. You don't need to manipulate people, you just need to see them clearly. And when you see them clearly, you stop being surprised, you stop getting used, you stop trusting the wrong people and dismissing the right ones. Most people are performing. They're projecting an image, they're saying what they think they should say, acting how they think they should act. Your job is to see past the performance to the person underneath. And you do that by staying quiet, by observing more than you speak, by letting people reveal themselves while you collect information. This is why the smartest people in the room are often the quietest. They're not showing off their intelligence, they're using it. Watch body language. Notice inconsistencies between what people say and what they do. Pay attention to who they become under stress. Observe how they treat people who can't benefit them. These things tell you more than words ever will. Machiavelli wrote that it's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both. Why? Because he understood human nature. He knew that love is fickle, but fear is reliable. People act in their own interest. And if you understand that interest, you understand them. This isn't cynicism, it's clarity. Most people operate from a mix of self-interest, fear, ego, and social conditioning. Once you see that pattern, behavior becomes predictable. The person who smiles while stabbing you in the back, the friend who only calls when they need something, the colleague who takes credit for your work, the authority figure who demands respect but hasn't earned it. None of these people are mysteries. They're all following predictable patterns. You just have to learn to read them. Now here's where it gets deeper. Understanding people isn't just about reading their current state. It's about predicting their future behavior. What will this person do when they're threatened, when they're offered an opportunity, when they think no one's watching? If you can answer those questions, you can navigate human dynamics with precision. You know who to trust, who to keep at arm's length, who to avoid entirely, who to collaborate with, who to compete against. That's weaponized knowledge, not information sitting in your head, but insight that shapes how you move through the world. And here's the beautiful part. The better you get at reading people, the less you get hurt, the less you get disappointed, the less you waste time on relationships that were never going to work. You become efficient with your social energy. You invest it where it matters and withdraw it where it doesn't. That's not cold, that's intelligent. Knowledge becomes a weapon when you apply it to human behavior. When you can read a room, when you can sense tension before it erupts, when you can identify who has real power and who's just pretending, that's the intelligence that changes your life. Number 7. Establish mental sovereignty. This is where you become untouchable. Mental sovereignty means you own your mind completely. No one can guilt you into changing your thoughts. No one can fear you into silence. No one can bribe you with validation or threaten you with rejection. You think clearly because you're not thinking for an audience. Most people don't have this. Their thoughts are crowded with other voices. What will people think? What if I'm wrong? What if they get mad? What if I lose approval? Those thoughts are chains. Sovereign minds don't operate that way. They assess reality, form conclusions, and act regardless of how it makes others feel. This doesn't mean being cruel or reckless. It means being free. Machiavelli wrote about this. He said that a prince must be willing to act against morality when necessary, not because he's evil, but because reality doesn't bend to wishes. Your mind works the same way. If you need everyone to approve of your thoughts, you don't have thoughts. You have a popularity contest. Real intelligence requires emotional independence. You need to be able to see something clearly and say it, even if it's unpopular, even if it makes people uncomfortable, even if it costs you relationships. That's not arrogance, that's sovereignty. Here's how you build it. Stop seeking validation. When you say something, don't check everyone's reaction to see if you said the right thing. Don't adjust your position based on who agrees with you. Don't soften your words to make people comfortable. Say what you see. Stand on it. Let people react however they're going to react. You're not here to manage their feelings. Detachment is power. When you're not emotionally invested in whether people like you, you can see them clearly. You can make decisions based on reality instead of hope. You can walk away from situations that don't serve you without guilt. This is what sovereign minds do. They observe, they assess, they act. They don't apologize for seeing clearly. And here's the thing, people can't manipulate what they can't reach. If you're not desperate for approval, no one can control you with it. If you're not afraid of being wrong, no one can silence you with shame. If you're not attached to comfort, no one can trap you with convenience. You become immune. That's real power, not control over others, control over yourself. Most people live their entire lives as passengers in their own minds. They absorb beliefs without questioning them. They react to emotions without understanding them. They follow impulses without examining them. They're not in control. They're being controlled by social pressure, by conditioning, by fear, by the need for acceptance. Mental sovereignty breaks all of that. It means you decide what you believe based on evidence, not consensus. You decide how you react based on values, not emotions. You decide what you do based on strategy, not impulse. This level of self-control is rare. Most people are reactive. They're pushed and pulled by external forces all day long. But when you establish sovereignty, you become stable, centered, unmovable. People will test you. They'll try to guilt you, pressure you, shame you into conformity. Let them try. A sovereign mind doesn't budge. It listens, it considers, and then it decides independently. This is what Machiavelli meant when he talked about virtue. Not virtue in the moral sense, but strength of character. The ability to act decisively based on clear thinking, not social pressure. When you have that, you stop being a piece in someone else's game. You start playing your own game, and that's when everything changes. Number 8, enter the abyss of clarity. Here's what nobody warns you about. When you develop real intelligence, when you see clearly, when you understand people, when you think deeply, you enter what I call the abyss of clarity. And it's lonely. Because the more clearly you see, the more you realize how much of human behavior is performance, how much of what people say is rehearsed, how many relationships are transactional, how many beliefs are borrowed, how much of society is theater, and you can't unsee it. This is the cost of intelligence. You lose your illusions. You stop believing in fairy tales. You see people as they are, not as you wish they were. Most people can't handle this, so they choose comfortable lies over uncomfortable truths. They'd rather believe in good guys and bad guys, happy endings and justice, hard work always paying off. This is why deeply intelligent people often seem distant. It's not that they think they're better than everyone else. It's that they see things others don't see, and it creates a gap. You'll watch people make the same mistakes over and over. You'll see disasters coming from miles away. You'll understand dynamics that others are blind to. And you can't always explain it, because the moment you try, you sound cynical, negative, paranoid. But you're not. You're just aware. Machiavelli faced this. He saw power for what it was, not what people pretended it was. And it isolated him. People called him immoral. They said he was teaching evil. He wasn't. He was teaching clarity. Clarity about how the world actually works, not how we wish it worked. And that clarity comes with a price. You'll lose friends who can't handle your honesty. You'll distance yourself from people who drain your energy. You'll stop participating in conversations that go nowhere. You'll feel out of place in spaces that used to feel comfortable. This is not a flaw in you. It's a natural outcome of growth. When you see the game clearly, you stop wanting to play the way everyone else plays. But here's what makes it worth it. The abyss of clarity also brings peace. Because once you accept that most people are operating from fear, ego, and conditioning, once you stop expecting them to be different, you stop being disappointed. You see their behavior for what it is. You don't take it personally. You don't waste energy trying to change them. You just navigate around them. That's detachment, and detachment is freedom. You're not cold, you're not heartless, you're just not confused anymore. And that clarity, even when it's painful, is better than the alternative, which is stumbling through life blind, hoping things work out, wondering why you keep getting hurt. The abyss teaches you to see reality without the filters, without the wishful thinking, without the need for things to be different than they are. Most people spend their lives fighting reality, wishing people were kinder, wishing the world was fairer, wishing things worked differently. That's exhausting and it's pointless. Reality doesn't care what you wish. It just is. When you accept that, when you stop fighting what is and start working with it, you find a different kind of power. The power of acceptance, the power of clear vision, the power of strategic action based on truth, not hope. This doesn't mean you become passive, it means you become precise. You don't waste energy on battles you can't win. You don't invest in people who won't reciprocate. You don't chase outcomes that reality won't support. Instead, you move with reality. You find the leverage points. You make moves that actually work instead of moves that feel good. That's what the abyss teaches you. And yes, it's lonely because most people are still living in the comfortable illusions you left behind. But it's also liberating because you're no longer trapped by those illusions. You're free, free to see, free to think, free to act. Intelligence is a burden, but it's a burden worth carrying. So here's where you are now. You've rejected the lie that intelligence is fixed. You've broken through the system designed to keep you average. You've learned to question without fear and grow through contradictions. You've weaponized your knowledge by understanding people and established mental sovereignty. Now you build the final form, the unbreakable mind. An unbreakable mind doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you don't break under it. You stay stable, clear, and functional when everything around you collapses. This is the ultimate evolution of intelligence. Not memorizing facts or scoring high on tests, but facing reality with precision instead of panic. True power is controlling yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your mind. When you master that, nothing can shake you. Not rejection, not failure, not betrayal. You see it, process it, and move forward. That's an unbreakable mind, and the world doesn't know what to do with people like that. You can't be threatened, bought, or manipulated. You're calm when everyone panics. You're clear when everyone's confused. You're precise when everyone reacts. That's the intelligence that changes everything. Intelligence isn't a destination, it's continuous evolution. Every day you choose to sharpen your mind or let it dull. The unbreakable mind chooses growth every single time, no matter how hard or lonely the path becomes. Machiavelli understood this. Power isn't about force, it's about clarity, strategy, and self-mastery. Master your mind first. Everything else follows. Master your attention. Master your emotions. Master your ability to see reality without filters. When you do that, you become formidable. Not loud or arrogant, just clear, calm, controlled, and precise. And that's more powerful than any amount of force because force can be resisted. Manipulation can be exposed. But clarity is unstoppable. So keep building, keep questioning, keep thinking deeply, because the moment you stop, you slide back into the comfortable mediocrity they want for you. Don't let that happen. You don't need permission for this. You don't need credentials or approval. You just need commitment. That commitment separates people who talk about intelligence from people who actually build it. And if you commit, if you really do the work, you'll look back a year from now and barely recognize who you were. Your thinking will be sharper, your vision clearer. The world will feel different because you changed. So if this video shifted something in you, hit the like button right now. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel. We're just getting started. This is your path now, the path of clarity, the path of sovereignty, the path of real intelligence that sees through games, understands people, thinks strategically, and stays calm under pressure. The intelligence that makes you dangerous to manipulation and systems of control. Welcome to clarity. Welcome to sovereignty. Welcome to real intelligence. Now go become untouchable.